at megaprojects, our work is never finished, and that's because seemingly no matter the age or the prevailing social or political sentiments, there's always going to be another ludicrously large project underway somewhere for some reason. Some will say that today's megaproject is a statement on the inequalities of the modern global economy. Some will say it demonstrates the decay of Western culture, yet others will blame one nefarious substance: cocaine. This is the story of The One, a house that objectively has no right to exist and which was built seemingly for no one. The tale of how it came to be, however, tells us a great deal about the real inner workings of the global economy and helps us to answer the age-old question: exactly how much cocaine is too much cocaine? Real estate developer Niall Niami was born in Los Angeles in 1968, and he had a simple dream. Well, actually, it wasn't that simple. Actually, it was a rather complicated dream. It was to build the world's most expensive private home. Free from the bounds of good sense, from taste or proportion, this home would be a statement. That statement could be summed up as, yes I can. Can I have a room for my candy? Yes. Can I spend $15 million on a home theater? Yes. Can I have a nightclub in my house? Yes! Beginning as a film producer in the 1990s, Niami produced B-movies like Steven Seagal's The Patriot and The Watcher, starring David Spade. In the 2000s, he dipped his toes into the property development business, building a series of condos and eventually multi-million-dollar Los Angeles properties for the likes of Sean P. Diddy Combs, the Winklevoss twins, and Saudi oil princes. So all around, stellar business partners. If you'd like a vibe check on Niami, just know that he once launched a mobile app called Wolfpack, which was designed to help single men look for friends. It no longer exists. Niami may have bitten off slightly more than he could chew when, in 2013, just a few years after the real estate collapse of 2008, he began work on what would be called The One. It was planned to be the most expensive private home in the United States and possibly the world. Its initial price tag? $500 million. Taking 8 years and at least $165 million to build, The One was designed by Paul McClean, an Irish architect known for some of the Hollywood Hills' most expensive properties. Modernist mega mansions like Laurel Way 1 and 2, Seabreeze, and Skylark, owned by some of the richest people in the entertainment business. The properties, which are more reminiscent of luxury corporate retreats than private homes, are rectangular masses of floor-to-ceiling glass and cement and offer the kind of luxury that seems almost inconvenient. Huge, stark rooms with very little sense of privacy are a hallmark of these properties. These homes that seemed more designed to display wealth than to enjoy it. Excavation for The One displaced 30,000 cubic yards, that's 23,000 cubic meters of soil, from one of the most exclusive addresses in Bel Air, the mega-rich enclave in LA that is home to many of Hollywood and the business world's richest people. It's the neighborhood where Elon Musk once owned 5 homes. The One would put all of these properties absolutely to shame. At nearly 10,000 square meters, 105,000 square feet, The One is the largest residential home in North America. The entire property has 21 bedrooms, 49 bathrooms, 7 water features, a commercial-scale spa and beauty salon, a cigar room, a running track, a 4-lane bowling alley, a full-size cinema, and a large nightclub in its basement. Its 50-car garage has 2 carousels, and there is a 380 square meter, 4,000 square foot guest house. Below the main living area, there is a servant residence with an additional half-dozen bedrooms and other amenities, and a 2-story executive office with a balcony inside for some reason. The main entrance is across a marble bridge over a featureless moat, which leads to a solid marble recessed front door that opens itself automatically in response to a biometric scan. The foyer, clad in somewhat preposterous white marbles, sports several enormous objects that look like rejects from the Tate Modern. A bizarre giraffe skeleton can be found peeking up from the bottom of one flight of stairs. A series of huge metal loops hangs from the ceiling of the top floor down into the main foyer. The army planned at one point to build a virtual shark tank to cover one wall of the foyer, which would reproduce the image of a giant aquarium using custom-built wall-length OLED screens. Financial difficulties would eventually preclude this addition.
Thanks, God.
Just off the foyer is the building's absurd executive office, which is over 2 stories high and completely surrounded by water. The second-story balcony overlooks the office, reinforcing the property's sense of absurd scale and lack of privacy. Niami, commenting on his choices in decoration, claimed that the pearlescent white marble tiles and white suede textured walls give the property a sense of warmth. The main living room is reminiscent of a four-seasoned hotel with laughably tiny-looking sofa arrangements forming islands of solitude in a sea of white marble, surrounded on all sides by an aerial view of a smoggy Los Angeles. The property's blank terraced lawn is adorned with an enormous Murano glass sculpture, which Niami claims is meant to raise money to teach acting to poor children in South America. He claims that the house was designed with sustainability in mind. In what parts? We're not exactly sure. A glass-walled, temperature-controlled wine cellar room sits off the main living room with racks 2 stories high and room for thousands of bottles. Yet this is not even the property's only wine room. Another absurd champagne lounge is surrounded on 3 sides by more walk-in wine coolers downstairs. Also off the main foyer, there's a butler's pantry, a cigar room with isolated ventilation, and of course a wall of framed vintage Playboy magazines to round out the image of a deeply tasteful relaxation environment. An enormous featureless open kitchen includes a fully automated coffee machine capable of preparing any type of coffee automatically, including finding and filling the cups from an interior compartment and adding milk and sugar. An enormous 140-inch LED television, that's about 3 meters across, was custom built using specialized vacuum-sealed connecting panels that give the appearance of a single continuous screen. An outdoor kitchen holds ice machines, fridges, multiple dishwashers, warming drawers, a rotisserie with an industrial extractor, and a grill top. The master bedroom, perched above the main swimming pool, contains its own swimming pool with a glass wall, just in case you ever got the sense that there was any privacy to be had anywhere on the property. The master bedroom features his and hers multi-room walk-in closets with Tiffany display cases for jewelry, and the house has separate sauna and steam baths for men and women. The enormous bathrooms are, of course, lined from floor to ceiling with windows so that the house's occupants can sit in the jacuzzi-style bathtub or the glass-walled steam room and see their neighbors in Bel Air. Custom beds have to be built for the master bedrooms because king-size beds just look too small. Another enormous television hangs from a track in the ceiling of the master bedroom that is able to hide the screen behind a wall or point it anywhere in the room. There's also a 4-bedroom guest house which is larger than most Hollywood mansions with a separate pool, of course. What would any Hollywood mansion be without a full-scale nightclub? The basement venue has a pool with multiple fire pits, another gigantic television, a ginormous bar, and enough space for 900 guests. The men's bathrooms have cameras in them, which can be monitored from the women's bathroom. Naomi explains that this is because men in LA are all scumbags, and I'm going to change them. That mission may be slightly marred by the fact that there exists a red leather-lined secret room on the property, which is implied to be a sex dungeon. In another wing of the basement is a full-scale restaurant and kitchen with a pool table lounge and a 4-lane bowling alley. Not far from these is a large candy room with several dozen glass tanks designed to hold various candies. Snacks are important if you want to catch a movie in your own home theater the size of a commercial Cineplex screening room with space for over 100 people and fully reclining custom-made couches. The cinema alone cost at least $5 million, not including the AV equipment. The sky deck sits on the roof of the property, where Niami unsuccessfully lobbied to get permission for a helipad. He instead planned to create a studio apartment and vibe space on the roof from the interior of a deactivated helicopter. Also on the lower levels of the house are wine and champagne rooms, additional bars and lounges, and a household-wide AV system on display behind glass, which is said to have cost $10 million. There's also a full-size beauty salon with multiple hair washing and cutting stations, foot baths, and other features. An adjoining health club includes hot and cold water baths, steam rooms, more saunas, and other water features. 2 treatment rooms for massages and other procedures can also be found. Another jacuzzi and another in-ground pool with a mirrored ceiling leading to a gym and a juice bar as big as a typical LA restaurant. As if this wasn't enough, the guest house also has a jacuzzi and space for 2 tennis courts. No James Bond villain's house would be complete without ample servants' quarters. The property is dotted with staff bedrooms and butler bars, and an entire separate residence on the property can house a full staff of at least 28 people. They'll be needed to maintain a working salon, a hair studio, a cinema and nightclub, 7 water features, 50 cars, a dozen kitchens, including a full-scale restaurant kitchen, and all the other amenities on the property. The 1 servant quarters have 7 bedrooms, which Niami suggests, without a hint of irony, can each house 4 people. The staff quarters have its own kitchen, laundry room, garage, and separate entrance and exit. Then on-site laundry room boasts a dozen commercial model washing machines and dryers. All told, the carrying costs of maintaining and staffing such a property would be in the millions of dollars per month. The Army originally listed the house for sale for $500 million, but there were problems even before it was finished. Though the Army had called The One his life's mission, by 2017 the property was drowning in debt. Despite interest from the media, it seems no one was interested in this enormous but tacky property. The Army toyed with the idea of selling it to a Hollywood studio for use as a filming location, but no deals were struck. By 2021, the Army had defaulted on over $165 million in investor loans, as well as over $1 million in unpaid taxes and materials. The Army's investors turned to a property management firm to try and finish selling The One and recoup some of their investment. The house was eventually listed for $295 million, a bit of a step down from $500 million. However, even at this discount, the house didn't sell. Finally, in 2022, Richard Sagian, the owner of Fashion Nova, a fast fashion brand, bought the house for $141 million at auction, about $24 million less than the property had cost to build. It bears questioning how such a property ever came to exist in the first place. Surely investors had to be aware that there was minimal demand for a house that had a dedicated candy room, nightclub, and alleged sex dungeon. Well, for an explanation, we have to look at the bizarre economics of high-end real estate in America, and particularly white-hot property markets like Bel Air, Manhattan, and South London. In these enclaves of mega-wealth, properties function less as places to live than as convenient means of storing and transferring wealth to one's family and business associates. Properties like The One and countless other mega mansions and mega condos that dot the most expensive property markets in the world are little more than high-value poker chips in the game of extreme wealth. A real estate investment is convenient for wealth storage because, unlike a financial asset, the soft market and forgiving tax laws surrounding real estate can be manipulated in favor of the super rich who can perform all kinds of financial trickery to reduce their tax bills and hide some of their wealth. Properties like The One are bought by so-called blind LLCs or holding companies, the owners of which are often not publicly listed or even known. In this way, huge amounts of income can be written off as expenses in maintaining luxurious properties, and properties can be bought and sold between the super rich without tipping off the government as to where the money ultimately comes from and whether or not the money was ever obtained legally. The super rich tycoon could purchase a property like The One through a company and then rent the property from themselves, writing off the cost of the rental from their taxable income while sheltering their wealth in the company, which can claim losses and expenses that exceed the income from the rental, allowing the person to skip out on potentially tens of millions of dollars in taxes. So while a property like The One is undisputedly great fodder for takedown videos on YouTube, the truth of the matter is that they often represent a darker and more insidious truth about the function of the modern economy and real estate. The One may have been a financial failure for its original backers, but it will continue to serve purpose for future owners. And of course, it's nice to also have an alleged sex dungeon on the property. You know, just in case.